What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson here, your host of the show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football. 2 days ago, I dropped another rookie mock draft, and I told you in that video to get me 50 likes, and I'll give you another one. And guess what? You guys did it. So now it's time for me to drop another one for you. This one will be 4 rounds of rookie draft Fury. I'm going to try and be a little bit more critical of this draft. I'm going to analyze the picks a little bit more for you guys, give you more of my take, going round by round. But again, another rookie mock draft for us to get a good feel of the market before we head into the actual NFL draft, which is not too far away. Got to get through most of this month, and we'll be there. With that being said, I got another rookie mock draft. This one 5 rounds, waiting in the wings. You get me to 50 likes, you pump this video up, and it's good as gold. And I'll put that one out on YouTube as well. Also, if you like what you see from here, if you're interested in these mock drafts, hit that subscribe button because I'm posting these almost daily, if not just rookie draft content. With that being said, let's take a look at this rookie mock draft. Here we go. We're in the first round of this 4-round Superflex rookie mock draft. And with the 101, here they selected Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. He's usually the 101, 102 range. Most of the time, the consensus has him as the QB1 due to his rushing ability, big playability. Should be a first-round pick. At the 102 spot, they drafted Breece Hall, running back from Iowa State. Most of the Superflex drafts I've seen, he's been going at the 101 spot, but usually it's 101, 102. It's flippity-floppity with him and Malik Willis. Moving on to the 103 spot here, they drafted Matt Corral from Ole Miss. And really, might be a little bit of a reach here, but if he goes in a good situation, we could see him pumped up. But as of what I've seen through hundreds of mocks that I've been in and combed over, this is a little bit of a reach. Usually he's in the back end of the first round of mocks. If he goes to a good situation, gets a little bit higher draft capital than expected, maybe we see him up around this range, but more than likely the consensus has him past the 105 mark. At the 104 spot in this draft, they drafted Treylon Burke, wide receiver from Arkansas. Decent value here considering 2 quarterbacks have already been off the board. You're getting him at the 4th pick overall. One of the top wide receivers in the draft, should be a first-round selection. Good production profile, decent athleticism, good to go for me. At the 105 pick, another one of my favorite wide receivers are coming off the board here is Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. Some people has him as the wide receiver 1, some has him as the wide receiver 2. I got a mix between him and Burks. I like his change of direction skills, his route running, his ability to rise up, climb the ladder, and bring it home at the catch point, and good ball skills. Will be one of the first wide receivers taken in this year's draft at the 106 spot. Another running back coming off the board here. They drafted Isaiah Spiller, running back from Texas A&M. And here, it's a decent pick. He catches the ball in the backfield. He's got good size, good burst in the second level. Considering his testing numbers have been very ambiguous throughout this draft season, there's a chance that he could fall a little bit in the draft. Wait and see. But overall, what we've seen in actual NFL mock drafts, that he's been going around somewhere between the 2nd and at the latest the 3rd round. If he falls, then we'll have to adjust. But right now, at the 106, all right now. At the 107, another quarterback going off the board here is Sam Howe, quarterback from North Carolina. Might be a first-round selection. Looks like it could be. If not, he's not falling out of the 2nd round. He has good production coming from his collegiate career. Looked good as a freshman. Also has good rushing ability, over 800 yards rushing this year. And from drafting quarterbacks in Superflex, if I can get a first rounder past the 105 mark, I like the value there. Less of a hit if it doesn't work out because this isn't the greatest quarterback class. Now we're moving on to the 108 pick here. And here they selected Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pitt. Another potential first rounder. He has 1 season of solid production under his belt. It was his last senior season this year in 2021. He has some good things on his tape. He's got a good arm. He can roll out a little bit. First round draft capital. Price tag's not too bad, but considering what's left on the board, I probably would have went with some of the skill players. Here at the 109 spot right after him is a big discount, and that's Kenneth Walker, running back from Michigan State. He's the consensus RB2 right now, and I feel like his stock has been going up. Probably go up more after the draft. He killed the combine, did well there, killed last season in 2021, and I feel like his draft capital is going to cement him as a top 5 player in rookie drafts, if not a little higher. At the 110, here they drafted Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. Will be a first-round pick. Just got to see where he goes in the draft. Good change of direction skills, good quickness. Got to see if he goes to a quarterback that will pepper him in volume. At the 111 spot, another good value here. This guy fell in the draft. I feel like he should have been a lot higher here in the first round. That's Drake London, wide receiver from USC. And we're going to see guys like this fall once quarterbacks go up higher than expected in Superflex leagues. You're going to see drafts like this. And Drake London is a tremendous value at 111. Good production last year. Good draft capital. Is projected to be one of the first wide receivers selected. It's probably going to be between him and Garrett Wilson. But I really love him at the 111 spot. At 112 here, we're going to finish the first round with Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State. Dude's been getting a lot of buzz from the combine. Good athleticism. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes in the draft. I feel like he's pumped up in value here. I feel better mid, late second round in his value. Early second round at most. I don't know if it's right to put him even close to the first round right now until we get a good feel of his draft capital. If you get pushed to the first round, paired with Aaron Rodgers or something like that, I can understand that. But right now, considering he's a small school prospect and we have other good wide receivers still on the board, I just do not think it makes sense drafting him at 112. Let's recap the first round before we move on. 101, Malik Willis. 102, Breece Hall. 103, Matt Corral. 104, Treylon Burke. 105, Garrett Wilson. 106, Isaiah Spiller. 107, Sam Howe. 108, Kenny Pickett. 109, Kenneth Walker. 110, Chris Olave. 111, Drake London, and 112, Christian Watson. One thing I want to note about this first round, we've seen a lot more quarterbacks go in the first round of this Superflex rookie mock draft than we've seen in all the other ones. This one was quarterback heavy. I think a few months ago I simulated one on my own where it was quarterback heavy. This one was just like it. We had quarterbacks go off the board like crazy. I think like 4 of them or so. And I know the second round is going to be very similar. So it just depends on your league and how they evaluate or how they value the quarterback position of how these quarterbacks are going to be going in your rookie drafts. But let's go ahead and head on down to the second round. And here on the second round, the 201 pick, the first player off the board here in the second, Jamison Williams, wide receiver from Alabama. And this is quite the value. Usually he's a late first round selection. I love getting him here at the 201 spot. Again, blew up last year with Alabama, 4.3 speed, explosive. More than likely will be a first round selection in this year's draft. 202 spot. Here they drafted Rashad White, Arizona State. This guy's stock bumped up in value after the combine. Receiver out of the backfield. One of the best pass catchers in this draft out of the running back position. Good speed, good wiggle in the open field. And it's just going to be interesting to see where he goes in the draft. I feel like he's pumped up a little bit right here. I like him better at the latter part of the second round. At the 203 spot here, in this draft, they selected Kyron Williams, running back from Notre Dame. And early on in the process, everybody was on him. Then he fell on his face during the combine. Now it's really just time to just see where he goes in the draft. He does have some things in his profile that allows him to stand out. He's a very good pass blocker, can catch the ball in the backfield, can do some things well. So let's see where he goes in the draft. I still think this is kind of high for him. At the 204 spot, in this draft, they drafted Pierre Strong, quarterback from Nevada. Quarterbacks in the second round who could get draft capital. Second roundish is probably where you're going to see him at. I think this is a good bet here because quarterbacks hold value, but there are some other players on the board that I would rather have at the skill position, but if you're looking for the quarterback, I'd rather get them cheap. Here at the 205 spot, we got a player that's really going to be falling off boards, and that's Jalen Wittermeyer, tight end from Texas A&M. Dude failed his pro day, ran like a 5-something 40-yard dash. makes him undraftable in my book, even for Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm going to let him slide. Not even second round, not third round, not fourth round. I'm just not having it. Maybe fourth round, maybe the last couple picks. But honestly, I'm not really having it with him. To the 206 pick, my guy, one of my favorite players in this draft, and he fell too far here. This is too far. George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia, one of the top wide receivers in this draft, being slept on due to coming back from the ACL injury, due to not having production in 2021, but looked good in 2020, looked good in 2019, and we're going to see where he goes in the draft. He's going to have a bump in value. These guys should not let him fall this far. At 207, here they selected Jerome Ford, running back from Cincinnati. And as far as I call it here, he's a wild card. He can probably go wherever, and he could be fantasy relevant. He could become a big-time fantasy asset. He could become nothing. There's a lot of things good in his profile, and there's some things that are iffy, but he has a lot of juice, catch the ball a little bit, can carry it between the tackles. So let's see what happens here in the next few weeks. At the 2-8 spot, these guys drafted Johann Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State. I'm all right with this value. There's some other wide receivers on the board here that I like better. But again, if he gets first round value, goes to a prime spot, then draft capital is going to go up in rookie drafts anyways for him. At the 209 spot, these guys drafted another quarterback, and here they selected Desmond Ritter, quarterback from Cincinnati. I think this is fine. I think this is a good value for him. He's got some 4 or 5 something speed. He can give you a little bit of Konami code. He's very raw. He's got some development to do in his game, but there's a chance that he could hit down the line for you. You may not expect much out of his rookie season, but you may get something down the line, and he's a quarterback that will hold value for you, and you're getting him at 209, which is a good value in Superflex. Better value than some of those first rounders, even if he goes to the right spot that allows him to develop. It all just matters what happens with him in the draft. To the 210 spot. Here, these guys drafted Sky Moore, wide receiver from Western Michigan. I feel like this is a tremendous value. If it was me, if I was in this exact draft, he would not have made it this far. Well, maybe, because some of my other guys have fell. But Sky Moore is a tremendous value at 210, even in Superflex. I feel like he should be more of a top second-round option. And there's a good case, once everything's said and done with the draft, that he might be pushing up for the first round. He is a high-end slot receiver. High-end draft capital is probably going to happen for him. A lot of chatter from Big Draft. I like Sky Moore a lot. At 211 here, they drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver from Kentucky. Good market share numbers, good breakout age numbers, good production numbers all around, good athleticism, and honestly, the draft capital might be there for him if he goes to the right team. I look for this to be a good price tag for him. I feel like it's a shame to see a wide receiver like this fall this far in the draft. Now at 212, one of my guys just fell in the draft. I would have drafted him higher than a lot of these other jabronis, and it's Justin Ross, wide receiver from Clemson. Until we know how the NFL values him, I'm going to continue shooting my shot mid to early portion of the second round. If I'm drafting now, I'm shooting my shot on Justin Ross, because prior to that spinal injury, he was one of the best wide receivers in college football. He was a Debbie darling, and until the NFL tells us what's going on with him, I'm going to keep drafting him high. And if the NFL says they don't like him, then I'm just going to be buying him at dips. I'm just going to buy him at the discount. 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round rookie pick value. I'm going to just keep doing it just in case the rush shakes off and he reverts back to his old self. I'm not going to bet against that. That's it for the second round. Let's recap this guy. 201, Jamison Williams. 202, Rashad White. 203, Kyron Williams. 204, Carson Strong. 205, Jalen Wittermeyer. 206, George Pickens. 207, Jerome Ford. 208, Johann Dotson. 209, Desmond Ritter. 210, Sky Moore. 211, Wan'Dale Robinson. 212, Justin Ross. If I had to summarize the second round, I'm going to say that with quarterbacks going in the first round, we saw some discounts at the wide receiver position here in this round. And we saw like the second and third level wide receivers go a little bit down farther than usual. Usually they're up a little bit higher in the draft here. We're saying George Pickens, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sky Moore, Justin and Ross, and some other guys fall later in the second round when they should be a few spots higher, take those discounts by the depths. Also, Jamison Williams hitting the 201 spot is a good value. Let's move on to that third round here. And we still got some values left on the board here with the first pick in the 301. My guy, one of my favorite players, David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue. He should not be in the third round at all right now. Not at all. I know the combine was bad. I know that was bad. But the production numbers are good. The tape is good. I'm buying him at second round price tag until the NFL tells me not to buy him at the second round price tag. The talent's too sweet for us to ignore. He's been a Debbie Darling too, and there's a good chance that he could be productive at the NFL level in the right situation. 302 here, Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver, South Alabama. Very talented prospect, very talented small school guy. I could see him working up a depth chart in the right opportunity if he really starts hitting stride in his development. There's a lot of upside here. There's also some other guys on the board that I like a little better. But honestly, for a small school guy, I like him, and I like him as a cheap flyer in rookie drafts. I like him a little cheaper than this. If I can get him mid-third round, late third round, especially if he goes to a good spot with sneaky draft capital. I don't want him to be a 7th round draft pick or a late 6th rounder. If he sneaks in the 5th, 4th, and I can snag him with a 401 or something like that, I'm going to love it. Next player off the board, another one of my guys here at the 303 spot is Amir White, running back from Georgia. This guy should not be falling this far down the draft. He should have went in the 2nd round. This guy is going to make you pay. If the NFL draft fades him, then I get it. But I don't think that's going to happen. They slept on him too much. 303 is Amir White. Take that discount all day. 304 here, they drafted John Mechie, wide receiver from Alabama. Draft capital is going to matter for this guy. I think he's going to get overdrafted in the actual NFL draft, which could be good for us. He may get overdrafted in rookie drafts, or it could continue to be a discount. Here at the 305 spot, they drafted Isaiah Likely, tight end from Coastal Carolina, highly athletic tight end prospect. Could get draft capital, could not. But let's see what happens. I think this could be a little bit of a reach, but tight ends, middle of the 3rd round or later is when I start looking at them. 306, they took Ty Chandler, running back from North Carolina. This is someone shooting their shot on this pick. I'm interested in him as a late round option, maybe a 4th round flyer. I like him a lot, actually. I think he's got some good things in his game. I don't want to pay up for him either. I think they're paying up at the high for him, but I do like Ty Chandler. I just want him more at a discount because that's the goods of him. You're getting a decent prospect at a cheap price. At the 307 spot here, they drafted James Cook, running back from Georgia. Not 100% onto him, but if he gets decent draft capital, I can hang on to him with this price. He's got some speed, he can catch the ball in the backfield, and he's from a big name program. At 308, these guys drafted Tyler Algiere, running back from BYU. This guy was very productive this year, 220-pound running back, catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, and in the right situation, can be a 3-down workhorse if given the opportunity. At the 309, they drafted Alec Pierce, wide receiver from Cincinnati. Dude's athletic, won the combine, did some nice things this year. I'm not really keen on drafting him. I don't think the production was there for me. I think just a pick that might be thrown away. At 310, though, wide receiver that I do like just went off the board is Khalil Shakir, wide receiver from Boise State. I look for him to be like a mid to late round option here in rookie drafts and the actual NFL draft. I think he's got some talent, some ball skills, can get downfield. He's one of my targets in the latter part of rookie drafts. Next player off the board here at 311 is Donovan Knight from North Carolina State. Bigger running back and run between the tackles. Draft capital is going to matter. If he gets drafted higher, then he'll get drafted higher in rookie drafts. If he falls, then he'll fall in rookie drafts. At 312 here, I like this guy, one of my favorite running backs, but draft capital is really going to hit the nail on the head, and that's Tyler Beatty, running back from Missouri. Dude can catch the ball in the backfield. He's very productive this year. Just a solid running back. Doesn't have the size, but again, if he goes in the right situation, could be a decent satellite option. To recap round 3 here, at 301, David Bell. 302, Jalen Tolbert. 303 is Amir White. 304 John Mechie. 305 Isaiah Likely. 306 Ty Chandler. 307 James Cook. 308 Tyler Algiere. 309 Alec Pierce. 310 Khalil Shakir. 311 Donovan Knight. 312 Tyler Beatty. To recap the third round, we got some values that slipped to the early part of the third round who should have been drafted in the second round. We also had some ancillary jabronis mixed in here. We're starting to see this draft dilute down a little bit. Fourth round's going to start looking a little sketchy. That being said, let's take a look at the fourth round. And here at the 401 spot, this is the latest I've seen him drafted in any of these mocks. It's Trey Mcbride, tight end from Colorado State. Usually I see him get drafted in the second round of rookie drafts. 1 QB, Superflex, usually second round, early third, the latest. Early fourth round, 401, latest I've seen him drafted. Going to have a good profile here for a tight end, high market share numbers, good pro day numbers. Let's see where he goes in the draft, but I don't think he's going to merit a 401. A 402, Brian Robinson, running back from Alabama. This might be the right price tag for him due to his overall profile. Really depends on where he goes in the draft. I bet he gets drafted with decent draft capital. Might pump him up a little bit. But at the end of the day, still a skeptical asset for us to dig into. Here at the 403 pick, these guys drafted Calvin Austin, wide receiver from Memphis. And this guy's got speed. He can fly. He's 5'7" though. Profiles as a slot receiver, gadget guy / special teamer. Really depends on where he goes. Like cliche with everybody else. Honestly, I'm not buying him often, but in the fourth round, you're not really buying these guys. These guys are just free players that you're just taking turns picking up. Here at the 404 spot, these guys drafted Damien Pierce, running back from Florida. This guy's a banger between the tackles. He can grind it out. NFL loves that kind of stuff. He could be a mid-round selection in an NFL draft. And if that happens in the right situation, we could see an upward trajectory in draft capital. I think this is a good spot for him in rookie drafts, a good discount. At the 405 spot, Kevin Harris from South Carolina is coming off the board, running back. Big banger, was productive. A lot of people in the comment section love him. I think he's a tremendous fourth round get. I think so. I think the upside's there, especially he goes in the right situation where he can compete to move up the depth chart. And I hear a lot of buzz about people liking him. Big draft, talking him up, and he's been a riser these last few weeks. I'm in on the Kevin Harris train. I don't know where I'm going to put him in my overall ranks, but I can tell you he's one of my fourth round gets. One of my buys for the fourth round rookie drafts or later or third round or wherever it is, but he's one of my late round gets. At 406 here, we're going to start seeing tight ends come off the board. I'm going to just say it in a cluster here. 406, Grant Calcaterra from SMU, formerly from Oklahoma. He had to take some time off, came back this year, did well. I liked him as a tight end prospect for Devi a long time ago. It's going to be interesting how he transitions to the NFL game. 407, Charlie Kohler from Iowa State. This is a good value for him. He was considered one of the top tight ends for Devi for a while now. And now we're getting him as a 407 pick in rookie drafts. I think this is a good selection, good value, good price for a tight end like this, because he could go to a decent spot in the NFL draft. 408, another tight end, Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State. I think he's going to get higher draft capital than expected. He was a big-time recruit coming out of high school, has some athleticism. Again, I think he's going to go higher in the draft than expected, and this is going to push up his rookie draft capital a little bit, but he's a tight end, so he shouldn't go up too high. All right, now to the 409 pick of this rookie mock draft, and here they selected Pierre Strong, running back from South Dakota State. This guy was very productive during his entire collegiate career, had good metrics at the combine, did well there, good size, adjusted athleticism, and he is one of my favorite late-round dart throws in rookie drafts. I'm not afraid spending a third-round rookie pick on him, especially he goes to a decent team with all right draft capital. Moving to the next pick at the 410, this guy went in the second round of the last draft. Greg Dolce, tight end from UCLA. This guy's a big riser from the combine. A lot of people are talking him up. Again, like cliche, let's see where he goes in the draft. 411 pick here. They selected Tyler Goodson, running back from Iowa. Highly productive throughout his collegiate career there. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. Did well at the combine. Another interesting dart throw here. Let's see where he goes in the draft at 412. One last dart throw. These guys drafted Bo Melton, wide receiver from Rutgers, has some production to his name, ran in the 4.3s, so has some speed, could be utilized at the next level, probably be a late round prospect, but another dart throw to look at. And that's it for this draft. That's it for the 4th round. Let's recap the 4th real quick before we head out. So at the 401, they drafted Trey Mcbride. 402, Brian Robinson. 403, Calvin Austin. 404, Damien Pierce. 405, Kevin Harris. 406, Grant Caltera. 407, Charlie Kohler. 408, Jeremy Ruckert. 409, Pierre Strong. 410, Greg Dolce. 411, Tyler Goodson. And 412, Bo Melton. And this was a 4th round of a rookie draft. I expected a lot of dart throws in this area of the draft. My favorite dart throws. I like Bo Melton at 412. I like Tyler Goodson. My favorite one is Pierre Strong. I like Trey Mcbride, but that's just a faller. I also like Kevin Harris as one of my main dart throws as well. Tight ends are tight ends. I'll just take late round tight ends all day. I think some good ones fell to the 4th round who has some upside here. Between Ruckert, Kohler, I like Caltera from his days at Oklahoma, so he's a very interesting prospect. All these guys have some things in their profile that could stick, but also there are red flags in their profile that could cause them to fall in the draft, cause them to lose a ton of value in the Dynasty stock market. But let me know what you think about this 4-round rookie mock draft. Who fell? Who got overdrafted? What you think about the quarterbacks going in the 1st round? What you think about this 4th round here, 3rd round, some values here. A lot to talk about this one. This is a little different one. I can see some drafts giving us more value than expected in the 3rd and 4th round of rookie drafts due to the quarterbacks getting pumped up. Quarterbacks are very ambiguous this year, so it's going to be interesting to see where they fall on a lot of these drafts. But right now, this has been one of the most QB heavy that I've seen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. Fuels me to keep pumping out this content. Fuels me to keep helping you with your Dynasty teams and everything else. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.